Hi, and welcome to the End Times Guide podcast. My name is Lee. Great to have you along with me. It is a wonderful Wednesday morning. I'm heading down into Seattle, not my favorite place in the world to drive, but it's a living. I'm thankful for this job that gives me the freedom to do this podcast without needing money from anyone. And a ministry that isn't in need of money has the freedom to focus on the truth and what is pleasing to God rather than being an ear tickler who just wants a big following in order to gain that filthy lucre. So I'm thankful to God for this opportunity. And today I want to share with you a couple of things that I've seen in the news. And it just tells me this is the time where we have to be prepared to let go. And when I say that, I mean to let go of our reputation, perhaps to let go of our income, our career. The word of God is going to cost you in this Western society. It's going to cost you. There was a fellow, Israel Lufu, an Australian rugby player, who posted on, I believe it was Twitter, basically sharing some scriptural truth that those who practice lawlessness, those who practice sin, will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. And he included all of the basics: homosexuality, um, theft, lying, drunkenness, greed, all of the basics. But they really latched on to the word homosexuality and made a great big deal out of it. And he was told to take that post down and recant from it or face some board of review in 48 hours. He refused to back down. And I want you to see that this is what the light of Jesus Christ looks like in this world. It can look like a horror show, but this is what light looks like. This man says, no, the truth must be told, even if it costs me my career, even if it costs me my reputation. This is what true love looks like. He was willing to let go of what matters to him for the care of lost souls. And we need to have that same courage now more than ever. Preaching the truth will cost you. It will cost you friends. It will cost you family. It will cost you reputation. It will cost you career. Are you willing to let go of those things in order to be a light? It used to be only a few short decades ago that this light was widely accepted. As we are moving away, we're losing that glow of Christianity within our society. The light is becoming more pronounced and um, more of a nuisance, more of an offense to Western society. So your light, if you are one of God's children, that light is natural within you, and it will be offensive to society as a whole, and it will cost you. And this is a time where you have to make the decision: do I let the light shine no matter what it costs me? Or do I put a lampshade on it with some jazzy colors and dim the light, mute the light in order to blend in, to get along? And here's what happens: your lampshades have to become progressively darker. It begins with some multicolored stained glass lampshades that are kind of jazzy looking, and the people are like, yeah, yeah, that muted light, we get along with that. It's kind of nice and pleasant, and it doesn't interfere with our our darkness too much. So it's okay. But society around us is rapidly devolving into utter blackness. And your lampshades are going to have to become progressively darker and darker in order not to offend. And this man, Israel, I really hope I've got his last name right, Lofu, took the lampshade off and said, this is light. And he's paying the price for that now. And you have to ask yourself, what is my stand in the end times? Do I have a lampshade on me right now? A lampshade of variable colors that people don't find terribly offensive. Well, frankly, the question is, when the lampshade you have now becomes offensive, what will you do? Will you switch it out to a darker lampshade? Or will you do like this man and say, I see where this is going. I won't be able to be a light and get along with you. I understand that. So I'm just taking the lampshade off now. This is light. This is light. This is what it is. And it will offend and anger the society around you. You will be dragged into court. You will face the law and the wrath of Western society. Are you ready for it? This is a time where you need to mentally prepare yourself to let go. You may not be able to enjoy your freedom. You may not be able to enjoy your income. It will cost you to be a light in the end times. I've considered the costs and I'm willing to live in a tent. I'm willing to live on the streets. I'm willing to go to jail if that's the cost. Because the alternative to that is just stumbling in the darkness, and I can't do that. And I really hope and pray that you will take this to heart and consider it for yourself. Am I willing to darken my lampshades deeper and deeper in order to not offend? Or am I willing to take the lampshade off and shine? Let the light of God shine. I want to share one other thing with you. A token of the darkness that is spreading across Western society. And this happened in Alaska, way up north in the sticks. This transitioning girl went into a boy's bathroom, and the boys were offended. They really didn't like this girl in their bathroom. And I understand that. I would be amused. I would be basically laughing myself silly, but these boys were offended. So they decided to stage a protest. And this is where it gets awful. I wish they had staged their protest correctly in regards to this girl who is pretending to be a boy. This girl has a mental illness that is not being properly treated. And instead, society is too sick to realize her illness and is rather playing along with it. Society is so dark it doesn't perceive wrong from right. So this girl who is in the wrong is out there pretending to be a boy. It's making the boys uncomfortable. I think they were just, pack mentality. Let's do something. Let's go get them. We'll show them. So they go into the girls' washroom. All 7 of these boys go into the girls' washroom. Now, I never knew this until a short time ago, that women are a lot more afraid of being victimized than men are. I've never lived with a conscious fear of being victimized, um, being attacked by a woman, overpowered, raped, and murdered. That thought never crosses my mind. And most men, if a woman tried to rape them, they'd be like, well, all you had to do is ask. So it's very different for women. And I have 2 daughters and I understand this. They live with a conscious fear of being victimized by men, and they take steps to prevent that from happening. This is a part of the reality of being a woman. And when this 17-year-old girl was confronted in the washroom by 7 boys, she was terrified. My daughter said they would be absolutely in terror of their lives. This is it. Goodbye, cruel world. This girl reacted by kneeing one of the boys in the balls. I think that was well aimed, well placed. It did its job. She is in a state of threat and terror and responded by attacking. And I totally understand that and agree with that's righteous. That is a good thing. But society is too sick to realize that. They decided the girl assaulted one of the boys. They wouldn't let her leave the washroom. Um, she felt deeply threatened. I don't think these boys realized how terrified girls are of being overpowered like this. Um, I don't think they had a clue, and probably still don't. And the girl was kicked out of school for her quote unquote act of aggression. So, this is a sign of our society that calls evil good and good evil. Who started the problem? This mentally ill girl using the wrong washroom. That's what started the problem. Who's paying the price? The one who is victimized most. The young lady who was, wow, not only was her privacy invaded, her life was threatened, her safety was threatened. And she responded in a way that I love. God bless that girl. May her knee have the might of Samson within it to take away a boy's ability to procreate. May God bless that knee with the power of Samson, I pray, because she did what was right and defended herself to the best of her ability, and I applaud her for it. But the victim, who was the most threatened and terrorized, is now the one being punished. The seven boys who created this conflict with an innocent girl who had nothing to do with any of it, they got off scot free. This is the society you live in, a wicked and depraved society that does not have a knowledge of good and evil. They don't they call evil good and good evil. Their judgments are unrighteous. Now more than ever, your light cannot be hidden. Even to hold to the truth will expose you. You don't have to go out of your way and make a grand effort. Your light will shine through even when you're not trying to. So prepare yourself now and ask yourself, am I willing to let go? We've enjoyed a long run of comfort and safety within Western society, but it turned its back on God. During the Age of Enlightenment, they decided that they didn't need God anymore. They were smart enough to create their own destiny, and they began to teach their children that we're all advanced monkeys. Interestingly, we can't breed with monkeys because we're not the same kind. Horses can only breed with other horses. Dogs can only breed with other dogs. Rabbits can only breed with other rabbits. All life is restricted to its kind or phyla. Interestingly, during the Cambrian explosion, where all this vast assortment of life suddenly came into being, isn't that a surprise? Kind of sounds like creation to me. There were close to 60 phyla or kinds of life, and now there are just over 30, and we're seeing more and more species disappear every day. Entropy is working well. Life is going away, breaking down. It defies evolution fully. And these walls, these rigid walls, prevent cross species procreation. You can't breed a horse with a goat and get a new creature. Now, man cannot breed with monkeys because man is not of the same kind. But man can breed with angels, as we read in Genesis 6, and have offspring. Now, that's very interesting. We have been trained to see ourselves as animals. We've been trained to see ourselves as an evolved and advanced monkey. This is all nonsense. This is all foolishness. We are of the same kind. I'm not saying we are as the angels, but we're in the same family. We're closer to what the angels are than what we are to what monkeys are. So I think we need to step back from this society that is wicked, depraved, confused, and utterly ignorant of who they really are. Jesus laid down his life for us. Who are we that the Son of God would come and live as one of us and lay his life down for us? That God would love us enough to give us this whole earth, to give us dominion over it, to make everything in this world subject to us. The work of the devil has always been to reduce our value, to really portray us as nothing at all. But I argue that we are something to God and that it's his will that none of us perish, that all of us be saved. And it's Satan's work as the opposition to see that none of us are saved, that all of us perish. Let your light shine. That is bringing glory to God. That is doing the work of a servant of God. And be prepared to let go. God bless you. This is the End Times Guy. I look forward to your return.